Hello and welcome to another edition of the platform on ThinkTech Hawaii. You can watch us live on thinktech.com and you can tweet us live on the show at ThinkTechHI. We have a great show for you today. Stick with me as we learn and grow together. Our guests today are from the Hawaii Red Cross. We have Communications Manager Krislyn Yano and we have CEO Coralie, is that how you say that? Matayoshi. Yes. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Good. First off, a little you don't know about me, I'm a refugee from Liberia, and I've encountered many Red Cross personnel over the years, but we knew them as the Red Cross. Is there a distinction between the Red Cross and the American Red Cross?
Yes, every country has its own Red Cross.
Okay.
So Haiti would have its Red Cross, Liberia, American Red Cross. The Hawaii State chapter is a chapter of the American Red Cross, and we're throughout the nation. And all of the nation's Red Crosses belong to an international society which helps each other in times of international disasters.
Cool. Well, can you give me a brief overview of the American Red Cross organizational structure?
It changes daily.
Really? Okay.
But we have about maybe 600 chapters. It used to be 2,000, and it grows and shrinks. But anyway, each chapter, and now just since July, we're now in charge of Guam and Saipan as well.
Oh, wow.
So I'm actually the regional director of the Pacific region.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Nice.
And so it's all the whole Hawaii state, all of the islands. So I actually have 10 offices. That
Oh, wow. You're a busy lady, aren't you?
Yeah. It's all the neighbor islands, as well as we have 4 on the military bases, including Tripler Army Medical Center.
Cool. Okay. Well, we'll get to learn more about that. What programs and services do you guys provide here in Hawaii?
Well, our mission is to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors.
Wow.
And we do this by coming to the aid of disaster victims, teaching people how to save lives, and providing emergency communication between deployed military service members and their family. So it's a really broad reach. And we're 24/7, 365 days a year.
You have to be ready, right?
Yes.
You guys are kind of like an army of your own kind of
Yes,
thing.
we are. Although people don't know about this, so that's why I'm glad that we're on the show, because we're 24/7, 365 days a year, ready to respond to any disaster, anytime, anywhere.
Even if you're at home?
Oh yeah, especially when you're at home at 10 o'clock in the night.
Are you on call too, Krislyn?
We're all on
Yes.
call.
Oh, wow. Okay. So let's talk more about what kind of programs you guys provide here in Hawaii, most specifically, if you can list some of the programs that you guys have, and who do you mainly provide those services to?
Well, of course, we're statewide.
Okay.
In the state of Hawaii, we provide services to everybody, and not only people, but pets, as we'll tell you later
Animals
on.
too.
Yes. And so we're on call 24/7, 365 days a year, and we respond to disasters in Hawaii every 4 days, which is amazing. And because people think of disasters as hurricanes or tornadoes or whatever, but really most of our disasters are everyday home fires, which happen every 4 days.
Is that, as I understand it, fire is one of the biggest disasters here in America.
Yes,
now,
it is.
for Hawaii, is that the same, or is there a special case for Hawaii? Maybe?
No, everybody. I don't know why, but fire is everywhere.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Everybody cooking.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, you kind of touched on your mission a little bit here. Would you like to go a little bit in depth of exactly what you guys are trying to, in a global sense, what are you guys trying to really reach out for?
Well, we're a humanitarian organization, and so we help each other. And so, of course, every chapter is in charge of their, or chapter and region is in charge of their area.
Right.
And like, for example, my husband right now is in Washington for the landslides. He's a mental health
that's
Red Cross volunteer, and he's there for 2 weeks. So we all help each other, and we know that when something happens, it's not if but when something happens in Hawaii, that we'll get help from the outside as well.
Okay. So what happens when, because Hawaii is it's far removed from everybody else.
Yes. Did you know that we are the most isolated population on the face of the earth?
Oh, wow.
So we're
That's
in
news to me.
big time trouble.
So you guys have to be prepared maybe like a couple of days ahead. Then,
Actually, 7 days. Everybody says 3 to 5 on the mainland, but for us, it's at least 7 days.
And how do you come up with those numbers?
Because that's how long, we do just-in-time stocking of shelves, of supplies. And so every family, every individual has to have their own supplies. People think that when you walk into a shelter, it's going to have cots and like a restaurant, and a hotel, and it's not. A hurricane evacuation shelter will have absolutely zero. It's just a place to take refuge.
Okay.
So if you don't have water or food and everything, that's really
chaotic,
too bad.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So you guys also have a local training in preparedness. Would you guys tell me how that works?
You want to talk about the different things that we offer?
We have a bunch of classes that we offer. So we teach life-saving skills like CPR and teach people how to use the AED, the automated external defibrillator, to help people in cardiac arrest.
Okay.
We also do first aid for dogs. We teach aquatics.
For dogs too?
Not aquatics. We teach first aid for dogs. So you could do CPR if your dog is in the water.
I had no idea you could do that. Okay.
Right, yeah. So that's a new program. We do wilderness remote first aid training. So it's for people in areas of the wilderness where there's not emergency responders nearby, so you know how to handle those situations.
Right, there's a lot of those in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we do babysitting also. So teens who want to start a babysitting business, you can take training from us, and they'll teach you not only the skills you need to be a babysitter, but also how to grow your business as a babysitter. Yeah. So
Okay.
a bunch of classes.
And how do somebody, is there a cost to that, or?
Yeah, the costs vary between each class, and you can go on to redcross.org/take-a-class to find out when the different classes are. They change every month, and what time they are. And it's great because we have full classes where you can just come in, but a lot of the classes now also have online blended learning.
Right.
So people are busy, right? You can't always just go in for 6 hours and sit on at a class. So what you can do is most of the classes have about an hour of the learning online. So you watch a video, you take a little test to make sure that you got it down, and then you come in for skills learning. So the instructor will know that you already have the base of the knowledge down, and then they'll teach you how to do CPR correctly and make sure that you're doing everything that you need.
Okay. Are the instructor 365?
Well, on the web it is, but the
okay.
skills training is scheduled.
Okay. That's good. That's great stuff, man. You guys are doing a great job. So what is the relevance of the Red Cross in Hawaii here?
It is not if, but when we're going to have a disaster.
Right.
And so we're even more relevant than ever before. When I started 10 years ago,
Right.
they weren't as concerned about things like pandemic and bioterrorism and things like that.
Yeah.
And now it's not only natural disasters, it's the man-made ones like helicopter crashes and poisoning.
Drones.
And things. Yeah, that's true. But the world is more and more scary, and there's more and more disasters. So we are absolutely relevant today, and we're in more populated places, and so there's going to be more damage. And Oahu is the scariest place, I think, because it's so densely populated, and we haven't had a major disaster in a long time. And we've also had many.
Don't say that.
I know, knock on wood. But you know what? In the past 6 years, we've had 6 almost catastrophic disasters. We've had Hurricane Flossie twice, Hurricane Felicia, and then 3 tsunamis, and then one just the other day, another tsunami scare. Not as bad as we didn't have to evacuate, but the other ones, one from Japan, caused $30 million of damage here. And in the last one, Felicia, we opened like 27 shelters across the state because people were in inundation zones. So you always have to be ready.
You guys ready to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm wondering about the red. You guys are, that's your signature color, right?
Yes,
I mean,
people
it stands
expect
out.
us to wear red.
That's good. I mean, you guys look great in it, so that's good. Okay. Wow. I'm going to learn a lot here, aren't I?
There's one other thing that people don't realize, and that is that we do so much for our military. Actually, that's how we started. You know, Clara Barton in the battlefields of the Civil War.
Actually.
And that's the humanitarianism, that no matter what, even if it's an enemy of war, we're going to help you because our guiding principle is humanitarianism.
Wow, how does that work? When you're in a war zone, do they have rules that govern if you have a Red Cross, you can't touch them, or how does that work?
It's better than a white flag. You know, it's Red Cross, and we're impartial, and we're neutral, and we don't take political sides, and so that's why we're able to go and visit, you know, political prisoners and things like that without getting shot. Of course, that's more in the nature of the International Red Cross. Here we deal domestic.
Okay.
So what we do is we provide emergency communication between deployed military services, service members and their families 24/7, 365 days a year throughout the United States.
Wow.
So if someone in Hawaii has a family and their son or whatever is deployed in Iraq, and his father's dying here, we'll get word to his command so he can come home and say his last goodbyes, and we'll help him get over here, and we'll help the family to cope with the tragedy.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's a
wonderful.
lot. People don't know about that.
That's a lot. We are going to get
no
all
idea.
into that. You know what? It would be a great segue to give me a little history behind the Red Cross. How you know, you talk about you guys started in 1898.
Yeah, that's the National Red Cross in Hawaii. We're almost 100 years old. We're about 97 years old. We started in 1917.
Oh, the Hawaii chapter started
Yes.
in 1898, but the whole organization as a whole.
Actually, they started like maybe 135 years ago,
okay.
but we're almost 100 years old. And what's really neat is that Queen Liliuokalani was an avid supporter of ours, and we have in our boardroom this big old flag. And when I walked into that boardroom 10 years ago when I first started, I thought, boy, that looks really old. And I looked at the inscription, and it said, "This flag is an expression of my warm and hearty sympathy for the cause of humanity."
Beautiful.
It is very beautiful.
That is beautiful.
And it was sewn by Queen Liliuokalani, and it flew above Iolani Palace during World War I, while Red Cross volunteers rolled bandages in the throne room of Iolani Palace.
Hey, Ian, do we have a picture of that by any chance?
I think we do.
Okay. All right. I think we had a picture of that, but you know, we had to start the show. This show is so like their disaster preparedness and how well prepared they were for the show. I'll get more into that as the show comes to a close. I actually have a reflection to do on how Krislyn and I got talking and how she basically planned the whole thing.
Yes.
So,
we're so lucky we just walk in here.
Right, you are more prepared.
Yes.
You're saying you're prepared for disasters, and you're prepared for shows, you're prepared for anything. So I'm very glad to have you guys on here today. So disaster preparedness. How do you guys? I know you say you get pets. You have animals that you look after. You have human beings. Do you go? Is like forestation, anything of that sort as well, or you just?
Well, we really reach out to the different audiences and teach them how to prepare. And we focus on the ones that are most vulnerable, like the elderly, the ones that don't speak English, children and pets that can't take care of themselves. But our appeal to the people of Hawaii is that you, to the extent that you can, please prepare yourself so that we can focus on the people that are more vulnerable that can't care for themselves. And I think Krislyn brought along with her a pillowcase.
That is.
And it's a new project that we had that was sponsored by the Walt Disney Company. And it's called the Pillowcase Project. It emanated from Hurricane Katrina when my friend, the CEO of the New Orleans chapter, noticed that that college students were fleeing from their dorm rooms with their belongings in pillowcases. And so they got to thinking, you know, instead of being a reactive thing, why don't we make it a preparedness thing? So they worked with a art therapist to develop this whole program, and actually this is the pillowcase part that actually serves as a disaster kit. And so there's these exercises, and there's a booklet that shows them, you know, the science of what is a hurricane, what's a house fire, what do you do to prepare, and then they actually have Crayola markers, and they draw what they're thinking about to be able to plan, and this will help them cope with something that happens, so that they'll know what they're dealing with, a tornado or hurricane or whatever, and they'll also know what to do. So it teaches them coping skills, so when something happens, they're just not all panicked.
Okay.
And you know, the best way to teach parents is through their kids, because
Right,
they're the ones
right,
that tell
right,
you,
right.
don't
The
smoke.
kids are about-
Yeah, they bug you about recycling
So
and
you don't
things.
take them to the grocery store.
Yes, yes. So this is a new project that we have, and we're just launching it now.
Actually, I want to talk more about that. Let's take our first break, and then we'll come back. This is the platform. We're here with the Red Cross CEO and Communications Manager, Krislyn and Coralie. We'll be right back.
I'm Jay Fidel. That's Sharon Moriwaki of the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum. And every Wednesday we have Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy. We've been doing it for some time now, and we have some fantastic guests on there, unbelievable guests who give us insight into what is going on in a very complex, sometimes very confusing, sometimes very disappointing area of progress in the state. So we love doing this. We love meeting them. We love talking to them. We love having their ideas out on the table. So maybe, just maybe, we can all make some sense of what's going on. Sharon, what do you think?
I think that's absolutely correct. We enjoy ourselves meeting with all these people and hearing about the energy and the state of clean energy, and hopefully we advance clean energy for the state. So it's terrific. Join us. Come
Okay,
join
it's
us.
every Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday is Energy Day. Every
Energy
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
4 to 5 p.m. Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy, here on ThinkTech Hawaii.
Energy
We'll see you
Wednesday.
there.
Welcome back to the platform. As you know, I am a new host here on ThinkTech Hawaii, and I asked you to learn and grow with me. And I do make mistakes. I have made a mistake again, as I had done my first show, so I will correct it as I go along. The CEO name is Coralie, not Coraline. So I'm sorry about that. Coralie, can you pronounce that for us? So
Coralie.
I'm probably still getting it wrong. Cool. Okay. Thank you again for being here on the show. And right before we went for the break, we were talking about your Pillowcase Project
Yes.
with Disney, as was, and I would like to know more about it. Who's the wonderful kid that did this?
It's the daughter of our disaster director.
Yeah, Althea.
Ali. How do you say it?
Althea.
Yeah.
That's
She put a
cool.
little cross in her name. It's cute.
And you have the toothpaste, the radio,
Yeah.
and those are part of the whole disaster kit that you're talking about that people do get. They get a teddy bear too.
Yeah, everybody needs to be comforted,
Right,
right?
right,
If
right.
you're going to run out of your home, you want something that you can hug.
Right, especially if you have kids around and everything like that. Okay, cool. Is there anything more you want to tell me about the Pillowcase Project?
It's just a really neat presentation that they do for the kids and teach them how to prepare for disasters. I went to a couple of the pilot presentations that they're doing right now, and one of the neat activities that I saw was a breathing with color kind of therapy. It teaches them how to cope with disasters when they get nervous or anxious about things. What they tell them to do is breathe in a color they really like and to breathe out a color that they get negative connotations with. So they just practice that over and
idea.
over, so that when that time comes, you don't want them to just freeze. They'll know they can go back to that, and they can practice that sort of, I guess, art therapy kind
That's
of is.
wonderful.
Yeah, and they try to use the different colors on their pillowcase when they're coloring it.
That's
It's
cool.
actually designed for 3rd to 5th graders, and we are looking for audiences right now. So
Okay.
if you're interested, if you're an educator or you have a church or a group, 3rd to 5th graders, about 15 to 20 people, students, we'd like for you to go online at hawaiiredcross.org,
Right.
and there's a Disney thing, and press it, and we can get a hold of you.
Cool. And you guys have a Twitter too, and all of that.
Yes,
good
we do.
technology. You guys are up to
Yes.
date. You probably had it way before we did, knowing how prepared you guys get. So, so is there anything else you want to show me? Do you have any other props? I understand you have a couple of props that you have a preparedness kit.
Yeah,
actually,
that's
that you guys
this one
put together.
Has one. Yeah.
Is it possible for me to keep that? I'll be prepared.
Yeah, and then I guess
So this is one that you could purchase online
Okay,
at
these are-
redcross.org, and it has things that will last you, I think, 3 days or something.
this is water.
Of course,
This is
everybody
what?
needs toilet paper.
Right.
But this is a special water. It's not like the kind that you get in a bottle. These last for 5 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a whistle in case you get stuck in the rubble. These are really neat blankets because they're so thin, but they
Right.
retain your heat. So it's really good for camping and things. And I have one in my car in case something
So
happens.
whatever
and
happens,
right.
right? Yeah.
So this is a great one.
There's a lot of water around there.
This is food, believe it or not, and it lasts for 5 years. Somebody said it's more like, kind of tastes like peanut butter or biscuits or something, but it has protein.
Right.
And if you're hungry, you'll eat it.
If you're in a disaster, you'll rip through right there. Yeah.
Of course, a flashlight. The ones and batteries. The ones I have at home, though, are the crank ones, so that
Okay.
you don't really need the batteries. And it also has a cell phone adapter, so that you'll never run out of batteries. You can talk as long as you can crank, and
Oh,
that
wow.
is great because a lot of things happen. You know, when we had that earthquake, people's cell phones didn't work because there was no electricity,
Right.
right? I had
So you
my
guys-
adapter, and so I was able to talk.
Hello, I'm here. Okay, that's real cool.
Emergency poncho, of course, when you know, if there's a hurricane or whatever, it's probably going to be kind of cold with rain.
Right.
This is a warmer in case you need that, and a nightstick in case you need light. And then you should always have a first aid kit.
Right.
You know, you're
That's
not going to
very
be
important.
near a hospital,
Yeah.
and if something happens, you could get hurt, bleeding or whatever. And
Right.
so people should not only have a first aid kit, but know how to do
Ex-
first aid.
Exactly.
And we have
Come to
classes
the
for
Red
that.
Cross and learn how to do first aid. You know, they have all this great stuff, and they're wonderful people, and they've been prepared. They are. I actually, like I said, I'm amazed of how prepared they are and the things that they do. Having met them, this is my first time meeting them. I just met you guys right outside the gate. You know, we communicated just through email and everything. So I really can tell from our communications that you guys are really into this. And what, it was 3 days ago when I contacted you guys, right?
Probably two.
Right, 2 days, right. So it was like, okay, we'll do it. Let's do it. Let's go. And you know, I don't have an agenda here. You know, I'm just hoping that more people can learn. You know, get prepared. You know, you're in a community. You're surrounded by a lot of water. So a lot of, you know, so there's all these things that can happen. So if you're prepared, and you know, visit the Red Cross. You know, you guys have volunteers, right? How many volunteers do you guys take in?
We have thousands of volunteers, but there's about 600 that are regular volunteers that work 12-hour shifts or more.
Right.
And when you're sleeping, there's somebody that's on call. On every island, there's a hotline operator that's a volunteer
Okay.
that gets the call from the first responders. So whenever there's a fire or something big that's happening for civil defense or the police, they'll call the volunteer hotline operator who is
Okay.
working 12-hour shifts, who might be having the phone sleeping with it under their pillow. They'll wake up and then they'll deploy a disaster action team called a DAT team.
Okay.
They have DAT captains, there's Alpha, Beta, Delta teams, and they're on 12-hour shifts. They then deploy with a phone tree, so whoever is available, they'll be at the scene within 2 hours of any disaster, anywhere,
Wow.
anytime. Even
Wow.
on Lanai and Molokai.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow! And if you don't, I have a couple of audience, you know, on the mainland and everything like that. If you don't know about Hawaii, you know, it gets, you know, there's some remote places out here that, if you can get there in 2 hours, that's pretty good. So, okay. So you want to tell me about your clubs, your Red Cross clubs that you have?
Yeah, we have high school Red Cross clubs,
Okay.
and their mission is to, help people get prepared. They do things for soldiers overseas that are deployed, goodie kits and things like that. They write notes of thanks,
Right.
and they just try to lift people's spirits. And they'll do presentations like this. We have a bear costume and a disaster dog costume, and
You
they'll
mean I
go.
could have had this?
Yeah, you could have had one of those.
I gotta bring you back at some point. I mean, I would love to see that. That sounds cool.
And they do little projects. We also have a teen volunteer program that helps with our summer swim program,
Okay.
which has been happening at Ala Beach Park for almost 50 years. This is our 50th year anniversary this summer of free summer swim, and it's for keiki and adults as well.
What do you mean? Can I do it?
Yes, you can.
You know something about I used to learn. Okay, I used to know how to swim.
You
And I was on
used
the- so I was on a wrestling team, and me and my friends, he was getting deployed into the military, and we had a party for him. And I actually got slammed into the water, and I thought I was swimming up. but I was swimming the wrong
Are you
way.
kidding me?
And I
Oh my
freaked
God.
out. And from since that day, every time I get to the water and it gets up to here,
Oh
like,
my
you know,
goodness.
my girlfriend's teaching me how to tread and everything like that, but I still get, it's a little embarrassing and all of that stuff. So, I mean, it'll be wonderful. So, when do you guys have these?
We have it for about 6 weeks in the summer, starting in June.
Starting in June?
Look for it in midweek. We'll have something on that or on our website. It's absolutely free. There's adult and keiki classes on Saturday mornings.
Okay.
And it's just entirely free. And you know, a lot of people don't realize there's so many people that drown, first of all. But it's part of our mission of saving lives.
Right.
And we just, you know, we are surrounded by water. And
Right.
there are so many drownings.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will have to check that out. I'm sure of it. Also, when I was in college, you know, I was big on, you know, I did leadership courses and stuff, and we're big on silos. So, being a nonprofit, right, NGO, if you want to say that, and one of my biggest things was like, there's all these people doing great things around the world, but they all tend to have their own little silos. Is there something that you guys do? Do you partner up with somebody, or do you have a special person that your favorite people that you partner up with, and who is it, and how do you guys go about that?
Well, we partner with all kinds of different organizations. For example, with the Pillowcase Project, we contacted the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts and
Right.
the Boys and Girls Club and the YWCA and the YMCA to try to get their audiences.
Right.
And in a disaster, the Red Cross is the expert in immediate emergency needs. But after that, people need longer-term recovery.
Right.
So we'll partner with the Salvation Army and Catholic Charities, all of the different ones that give longer-term help,
Right.
you know, with rental assistance. And actually, we do rental assistance, but you know, just things that in the community. So we're like the connector. We find out what the people need, and then we always reach out because we can't do it ourselves.
Right. That's why you guys have to be ready and going
Yes.
right away. So
Yes.
you get that ball rolling and then hand it off as, okay. That's wonderful. Okay, and you also have the health preparedness training classes?
Yeah, we kind of went over those. Those are the CPR.
The
and
CPR.
yeah.
Okay, and I learned. I actually came across your whole program and what you guys do. Based on the fact that you have a student in the nursing course that
Yes.
I was surprised about. You guys do nursing.
That's a certified nurse aide class.
Right.
And they go for weeks and weeks and weeks. They learn how to take care of elderly or sick patients, disabled people, how to lift them without hurting themselves.
Right.
And then they take the certified nurse aid testing, and then that's their profession, so that they can go into hospitals and doctors' offices and
That's
care
wonderful.
homes.
Do you guys connect them with jobs afterwards, or what happens?
Well, you know, they're in such demand that
Right.
once they pass the Red Cross,
Right. I know you have a Red
they're in
Cross
demand.
revolving, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so you also brought some pictures here. Ian, if you can put some pictures up, I would like to get some background on some of these pictures. What's going on in this picture?
You know, I'm not sure. What is that?
I think that's
is that
just
a
a house fire.
fire?
Yeah.
That's a house fire. So on a regular, so if that was a regular fire, and you have the police department or the fire department there, do you guys aid them in any way?
Yes, we do. We're as I said, we're there within 2 hours of any disaster.
Any disaster.
Any house fire and
Right.
things like that. And you know, the firemen, they're busy. They're trying to put out the fire. They don't have time to take care of you in your pajamas
Right.
at 2:00 in the morning, wondering where you're going to sleep that night and what are you going to do. You know, most people, the fire is like this, so you're running out. You don't
Right.
have anything. You don't have your credit cards. You don't have anything, and you might have lost a pet or something in there.
Wow,
So
that-
our Red Cross volunteers are there to be trained to think for you because you're just freaking out, right? And we make sure that you have a place to stay that night and that you can get on with your life. You know, it's mental health counseling as well, crisis counseling.
Crisis counseling and
Yeah.
everything. Okay, that's cool. And as a CEO for American Red Cross,
Yes.
right? Like, what kinds of things do you encounter every day? Like,
Oh, it's like running a corporation, you
Right.
know, and a lot of it is fundraising because no money, no mission, right?
Right.
So we're here to inspire people to give
Right.
and to learn about our mission so that we can all support each other. You know, the help needs to come from Hawaii
Right.
and Hawaii people to help their neighbors.
Right.
And so that's why we're here.
Yeah, go ahead and donate, guys. The Red Cross, they need your help. Hawaii. Where are you guys located?
We're actually in Diamond Head because we're next to the crater and Civil Defense, and we have our own tunnel. The blood bank has its tunnel, we have our tunnel, and that has all these cots and blankets and a lot of our supplies. It kind of looks like a Flintstone thing, you know, with the roof and everything.
I wish I
wouldn't want to get caught in there. It's in the dark, but it's a really neat tunnel, and we're right near Diamond Head Crater.
Right near Diamond Head. And do you have different locations on different islands
We
as
have,
well?
yeah, we have the 8 locations,
Right.
and then the 2 in Guam and Saipan. The other thing we do is we run the entire volunteer program at Tripler Army Medical Center. And so we have like a couple hundred volunteers that are anywhere, anybody from pharmacists to pediatricians, physical therapy. We're in all of the different, you know, wards, and we just help the people. And we also have human-animal bond program, which we have 26 dogs. We used to have some cats and rabbits. We only have dogs right now. But they spend hundreds of hours over there comforting the patients and their families in the waiting rooms, at their bedside, and even the staff. They're so happy to see them.
Right.
You know, hospitals are kind of a hard place,
Right,
you know?
you don't.
So we actually have some little calling
Who's
cards.
that guy? Shamrock.
That's Shamrock.
I think I sent some pictures too, but yeah, they have these little baseball cards, they call them. When they visit a patient, they'll give them their cards so that they can kind of collect them. And then it has like a little bit about them so they can remember. And then we have Bailey's.
Bailey was our hero of the
Oh,
year.
so
Every
cute.
year we
She's
honor
wearing
a
a
dog,
plaid.
and she has like rabbit ears and Superman costumes and all kinds of things. But it's just to bring cheer and comfort. And you know, when you're in the hospital and maybe you don't have a limb or
Right.
something, dogs are just, you know,
They're wonderful.
yeah,
you know.
they're unconditional love. They'll just come and lick
So
you,
cute.
your face, and help you recover.
So do you guys prepare them beforehand too?
Oh, they have to pass a stringent test. My 2 little dogs, I have 2 Maltese, they would never pass. But they actually have to have their shots and everything. And then there's a veterinarian at Tripler that gives them a test. And
Okay.
one of them is that she gets a metal container and just throws it on the floor and with a really big bang, and the dog is supposed to just, you know, go like
Wow.
this, whatever. Because think of it, if something happened in the
Right,
hospital with a big
right.
noise,
You need
and
it
the
to-
dog took off under somebody's bed, that wouldn't be so
That
good.
wouldn't be too good,
So
yeah.
these are highly trained therapy dogs that have to pass big tests.
That is awesome. And
Yeah.
you guys help with the training and everything too. And
Actually, they come trained, and it's the handlers, and so the handlers and the dogs
Right.
are Red Cross volunteers, and Tripler is the one that kind of makes sure that they're okay to be in the hospital.
right, even dogs are volunteering. You guys-
Yes,
Yeah.
4-legged volunteers.
No, high schoolers are volunteering, dogs are volunteering, everybody's volunteering. I'm going to be volunteering a little bit here. So, okay, is there anything you want to dig more into that I'm not touching on? Because you guys do so much. I guess you have an app that you're developing,
Actually,
right?
Krislyn wants to tell you about these apps because there's quite a few of them.
There's quite a
Right.
few.
There's like tornadoes and wildfires and first aid.
Yeah, everybody's on their
and
phone
hurricanes.
nowadays.
Yeah. So these are relatively new. The newest is the pet first aid that just came out. All of these apps are free except for the pet one. I'm not sure why, but it's 99 cents, but it's really, really worth it. At the
I mean, if you love your pet,
Yes.
99 cents.
It's like having a veterinarian on call. It has about 26 different things that can happen to your dog,
Right.
including choking and bleeding, car accident, and they have travel tips and disaster tips, what kind of things you need to prepare to come to a shelter. You know that you need a crate to come to a shelter, otherwise you can't go in there. And
How
not
do you-
all shelters have capacity for animals either. So you have to think about that.
Right.
That's part of your family.
That's part
right?
of that preparedness.
Yeah.
Because if you're a disaster, you're just up and going, right?
Yeah. And a lot of people, of course, won't leave without their pets. You know,
Right.
I deployed to Hurricane Katrina, and there were rows and rows of crates with dogs and cats and animals in there at the LSU gym.
Wow.
And if it wasn't for the crate, though, they wouldn't be there.
Right,
so
right, 'cause
because the person, you know, you're not going to be with your pet, so you have to have their medications and their leash and
Right.
water and everything for them. so that some other people can help take care of them.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's really
But
wonderful.
if you can zoom in on the apps, is that the pet first
Yes,
aid
this
app?
is a pet one. This is a CPR. So we actually, it's really neat because it tells you the different steps that you need to take to do CPR, what to look for in an emergency, and then it has even videos. I don't know if we'll be able to hear, but because in an emergency, you're not reading it is kind of in panic mode is hard, but when you see it, it's a little bit easier. So
And they have like small, medium, and large dogs, where to place your hands,
Right.
how fast, and all of that.
I remember doing CPR for babies, and
Oh,
you have to
yes.
do like the 2 fingers.
Yes,
Is there
yes.
something special like that for the dogs?
It's mouth to snout resuscitation.
Really?
It really
I actually
is.
do. They
Wow.
have one for small dogs also. You have to do less for your smaller dog.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, but it is mouth to snout, as you can see. I don't know if you can hear anything.
Oh, I could. Is
Yeah.
that dog's so calm
sound.
though?
Right, in an emergency, that's what you could use that when you're panicking, right? Because you don't know what to do, and just reading it, you might not be able to comprehend the steps at the moment. There's also things for like choking.
So that was live. That was in training of any
That
sort?
was a training
That was a training.
video, yeah.
And like how to help your dog if it's choking on something, it'll give you step-by-step instructions
Right on your
what
phone.
to do, what to check, right? And then even if it's not an emergency, it has steps on how to prepare for them, make sure they're being taken care of correctly. It has emergency contacts because when you're panicking, you could add in your vet's number so you don't have to look for it.
Right.
You can just
everything on
touch
one
and
stop.
call.
Yeah.
You can find your nearest pet friendly hotel if you need
It's
to take
GPS
them there.
enabled,
Yeah.
so if you need a hotel
Yeah.
in a disaster, it'll tell you exactly
Where
who
it
is
is.
pet friendly.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has quizzes, so in your spare time, if you want to educate yourself, you can take some quizzes.
And this is the 99 cents
This
cents
is the
one,
99
right?
cents
Yeah,
one,
it's
right.
quite worth it. You can
Right.
you should go
Yeah.
there. You learn a lot. It looks
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it comes in handy.
And then for free,
Yes.
there's a one for humans, and that's just a first aid app.
okay.
And it has
What does that entail?
It's instead of mouth to snout, it's
Right.
mouth to mouth, and all of that. There's videos, there's quizzes, there's all kinds of things for any different kind of things. How to splint, what to do if you're bleeding,
Right.
how to take care of somebody if they're choking.
Like I said, everybody's on their phone nowadays.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
everybody's relying on technology. Who knows where it's gonna go? So,
Right.
you know, it's good that you guys are stepping it up and keeping up with the times and everything like that. Is there anything else in development that we don't know about quite yet that could make your job a lot easier as you're going through?
Well, I think these apps are the best things that has happened.
Right.
You know, it's hard to go and especially when you're panicking, right, to go and look for the book and then try to read it. So these are visual and
Right.
pictures and video. And then our blended learning is something that we're really proud of as well because it's 24/7, right? You can
Right.
go and take a first aid class or CPR class and do all of your testing online
Right.
and then just go and do your skills training. That's a really big
That's
advance
cool.
for us.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Okay. Well, the show is almost over, so I would like to at least get the background behind you guys here. What does it take to become a CEO for the Red Cross?
Actually, I'm a lawyer.
Okay then.
And I began my career as a trial attorney for the United States Department of Justice in Washington,
Wow.
D.C. with the Antitrust Division. And then I came home and I was in private practice. I ran the Bar Association for 13 years.
That's
And then
cool.
I fell in love with the Red Cross. And I've been here for 10 years. And I'm still passionate about the notion that you
I can tell. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
really
be
tell.
poor, you can be an enemy of war, and we're still going to help you. And so I really love that about the Red Cross.
That's really good. And Krislyn, communications manager, right?
manager, yes.
How do you get to there?
I went to school for communications and marketing, and I tried a few different other industries like the entertainment industry and technology
Right.
industry, and I just was looking for something that I could feel really passionate about, and I turned towards nonprofit, and the Red Cross is there, and it's something that you can put your heart into, and then it doesn't really feel like work that much.
That's That's good. I feel that because you have to be ready 24/7.
And then you
Right?
get to meet people like you, get to go on these things.
That's awesome. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Do you have any message for our young people out there?
I mean, just keep trying different things. Like, it takes opportunities like volunteering, trying different internships, which we have a wide array of. We have office interns, we have
IT.
the disaster. Yeah, IT, yeah.
Which I
It's
do.
a wide array. It's not just going out there in disasters. We need help everywhere. And just getting all those different opportunities under your belt, it helps you to learn what it is you're passionate about, and it teaches you more about yourself, and in turn, you can get
That's
to the
really
root of
cool.
it.
And you're from
Yeah.
here, right?
I'm from
Hawaii.
here, yeah.
What part of Hawaii?
I'm from the west side. So
west side,
like
Kailua
Ewa side.
or-
No, Ewa side.
Yeah.
Leeward side.
See, I'm still new here. That's why I'm trying to become part of the Hawaiian community. So as every day I learn from wherever we're coming from the Red Cross, from we had ZJ, who was a student in high school. Everybody on the platform, come as you are. It is what it is. And as I learn and grow, stick with me with the show. And I want to. Going back to Coralie here.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Learning and growing. That's what we're doing here. Okay. One of my dreams was to become a CEO. Who doesn't want to become a CEO? Chief Executive Officer. So I did a lot of volunteering work with the YMCA. Walling Foundation and whatnot. So, what's one of the biggest things you can tell our young people out there about either your line of work or just a general thing about how to empower young people that want to do good? Because I know volunteering and it's a good networking skill too. It's not just you're doing you're doing something free, but you're getting to meet a lot of people. What I'm doing right here right now is volunteering, and I get to meet great people like you. I'm gonna go take swimming lessons. I didn't want to bring that up, but I had to because it's part of it. So what kind of message would you relay to our?
I think it's so important to get your education. I'm on the board of regents of the University of Hawaii as well, so that is a passion of mine as well. So I think you should just get educated as much as you can.
Right.
Go to college and graduate school and things, and then learn the lessons of life as well. Everything that you do it well, and it will lead to someplace else. And then find your passion, because it doesn't feel like work.
Right.
Sometimes it does. A lot of times it doesn't, because it's
where your
a
heart
cause.
is.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we're really lucky to belong to the Red Cross.
Oh wow! Thank you guys for being on here, and I hope to have you guys again at some point in the future where we can. Where I would be way better than this.
Maybe we will too.
But you guys did a great job, and I wanted to tell my story of how I met these. Like I said, I got in touch with them because I found a student that was taking nursing with a Red Cross, and I was like, what, Red Cross? As a refugee growing up in Liberia, I saw them bringing rice and Spam and everything. Yeah, we had that there too, and it was. So I was surprised that they had a program as such. So I want to encourage the young people out there to go out, learn, volunteer, donation. How to donate to your cause? How can I donate to your cause?
I think the easiest way is to go online at hawaiiredcross.org.
Hawaii-
There's a big donate button because we always need help.
And the volunteering too, you can go to your website and do that. And what was your handle again? Twitter handle?
Twitter, Hawaii Red Cross.
Okay.
And then Facebook, we also have Hawaii Red Cross. So like us and follow us on Twitter. There's a lot of updates. Every time there's a new class or a new opportunity, we put it out there. You can see what everyone's up to. We post pictures of what our volunteers are doing,
Right.
even on different islands, so you get to know what this whole state is up to. So
That's real awesome. That's awesome. Okay, I actually want to. I wish we could have gone into the pictures, and like I said, being my second day here, my third week here, and they moved my show. We were on Thursdays from 3 to 4. I'm glad that they pushed it to Friday, or else I wouldn't have you guys on here because it was like a day to get prepared. But do you guys do this often? When you go, do you do a lot of promotion often? Go to different people to get the word out?
Yeah, we take every opportunity. That's why we're here.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
we
That's
need
cool.
to get people prepared and passionate about the Red Cross because it's your Red Cross.
Right,
It's not
right.
an institution. It's the neighbor helping neighbor, and that's what it's all about.
And you're from Hawaii too, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Born and raised.
Right, but you went to you did some work in Washington and then you came back, and so you were born and raised here too, as we touched on before. Okay, this is the platform. We do we have to go to commercial? All right. I guess we over-talked it. I had fun. I really had fun. Like I said, I am learning and growing with, and you guys, I will hope to invite you guys back. Look out for the show in the future once I get really, when I nail this down. But we are over time right now. You know, I just want to thank you guys very much for coming here and being a part of the show. Like I said, I will come to take the swimming lesson.
Great.
And I hope. Thanks for everything. Communications manager, kudos to you. You're doing a great communications job. The emails that we had back and forth and everything like that. You planned it to the T. You asked really wonderful questions, and I kind of wanted to not be over prepared for this, but not under prepared as well. And you did a great job in helping me in that effort. So I invite you guys back again next time. So thank you again. This is the platform on ThinkTech Hawaii. You can always tweet us at ThinkTechHI. Our show is always live on ThinkTechHawaii.com. And I think Jay, our boss here, has a show on Saturday, 10 a.m. that you can watch as well. And yeah, shoot me a Facebook. You can find me at Kingsley Zelee. Very easy. I don't think it's a common name, so you can go ahead and think it. So thank you, and have a great evening.